I just punched my mouse. I don't think I've ever done that. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? Hope we are doing right, all right, as usual. Hello, Cavalog. Hello, Counter Signal. You were the only two here right now. It's because, as usual, lately I have not been. Um, I've just been starting streams. I haven't been letting anybody know, like, hey, there's going to be a stream tonight. Although at this point, it's like, well, I think everybody knows when I fucking stream. But sometimes you need that reminder of, like, oh, yeah, Scott does stream tonight. He's going to stream tonight. Maybe I should tune in, you know? But it is what it is. Quirt says, yeah, I'm thinking it's Scott time. Oh, yeah. Now this is epic. Now this is epic. Um, the man himself, how you, Scott? Doing all right, you know, just living life, you know, doing my thing. Baby, look at me. Let me take a picture.
No,
Please? You
later.
got you now. You look cute now. Fuckhead. All right. My wife's wearing a hat. I've never seen her wear a hat like that before, and it's adorable. Bug him. What's going on? What's going on? JC says Scott, save it for OnlyFans, not here. Hey, I am her only fan. I am her only fan. Oh man, fucking crazy ass day, dude. Crazy ass day. You know, just a bunch of stupid shit happening, but it is what it is. You know, everybody's got a stupid ass life, is what I've realized. I think everybody's got a dumb ass life, and we're all just trying to make it through as best we can. I just hope you guys are able to make it through and you know, still have a little bit of yourself left over after, you know. Not to try and make it into some kind of huge like philosophical talk or anything like that, but like, you know, we just kind of lose pieces of ourselves as time goes on. Also, the kind of philosophical talk that you're having when you say shit like that is usually a fucking stupid one. It it's like it's like this is a profound thing. I'm being profound right now in a Hollywood movie. Kind of shit is what it is, you know. But anyway, for real life be dumb sometimes, dude. Like ridiculously dumb, stupidly dumb, just stupidly dumb. Yeah. Um, I find it's hard because a lot of people are dumb and they don't realize it. You know, everybody's ego leads them to believe that they're the smartest person in the room, and everybody else is either a complete idiot or they got a modicum of common sense, but they're still not on the level of me. They're still not on the level of me. I'm the smartest person here, and trying to talk to anybody is so exhausting. You know, that's part of the reason why I have such a short social battery, is because I can't stand dealing with people who think that they are the only one who knows how to do anything, you know? Somebody referred to me as classically masculine the other day. Classically masculine, ladies and gentlemen. Classically, all right? I'm a classic ass I'm classic ass mask is what I am. And no, but like the reason for that is because I don't do a whole lot of talking. I'm not very good at listening, right? And I'm not gonna be like needlessly mean. You see, there's this weird belief that femininity is now masculinity, and that's where you get dudes like Andrew Tate and all these other like wannabe red pill guys, you know. Um, and like it's the talk first, think later types of guys. You know, it's the guys who they're always sitting there fucking. They think they have the best way of doing things, and they usually make it worse. Like whatever it is, whatever it happens to be. You know, I spend a lot of my time at work cleaning up after other people who are so completely fucking convinced that they have got it down, that they know the best way to do something or the right way to do something, and it just ends up creating more work later on because like something just doesn't get done the right way. You know. Meanwhile, me, I'm at least able to like hang back and look at a problem and think about it before I start doing it, you know? Um, and I'm not always trying to pawn my work off on other people. I'm not always trying to look at somebody else's work and be like, no, no, you need to do this. I don't micromanage people, you know? Because I understand. For one thing, I have the IQ to realize that like there's more than one way of doing something. It doesn't just have to be my way or the highway. But then in addition to that, I also realize that like it's not like it's I don't think that highly of myself as to where I'm gonna be like I need to get all up in this guy's business because he's not doing something the way that I personally would, you know. Um, And it's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. But anyway, deep down inside, Scott there is a femboy screaming to get out. Who's to say? Who's to say? Who's to say? I haven't already let him out, huh? How do you know? How do you know? I stand up to reveal thigh high socks. Fucking and anyway, um, everyone's a Looney Tunes character in their own way. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. You know, that's the thing though. Is like I've slowly had to learn to become less fair as time has gone on. I'm not saying that I was perfect when I was younger or anything like that. I definitely was a very flawed person. Unlike now, where I have achieved perfection, of course. Um, no, but like obviously I'm not saying I'm perfect. Obviously I'm not saying that like I was always doing what I needed to do and I never made a mistake or I never acted in ignorance or even willfully, right, acted in a bad way. I've done that plenty of times. You know, do not get me wrong, but um I've always found from a young age that I'm willing to be honest, even if it means that I get hurt. And most people are not willing to do that kind of thing. And what ends up happening when you're dealing with them is you're honest in a way that hurts your argument or hurts your position or hurts something else that you need. And that other person sees your honesty. And whether they respect it or not, they're just like, all right, I'm going to lie now. You know, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna fucking lie about it. Is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna get everything that I want. And you can have your morals, you can have your honesty, and yeah, you have fun with that. But me, I'm gonna get literally everything that I want. Now there is definitely a moral high ground in being that way, but I do think that there's times where you need to recognize like, hey, who stands to gain from me being honest here? You know, I tell the story about when I was working the seafood counter at a grocery store like fucking 10, 15 years ago at this point. And somebody came in, they wanted something. It was Christmas Eve. I had already put away all the seafood shit. So having to take it out and weigh some shit out, I would have had to re-clean it, which would have taken another 15, 20 minutes. I said, nah, we're already closed. Fucking, my manager came. My manager came, basically demanded that I do it. I got upset, right? Now, that went unpunished. Nobody ever mentioned anything to me, right? 6 months later, I get in trouble for telling a customer to leave. I get called in for a meeting. They tried pulling that incident from 6 months before out to try and be like, and this is why we're not going to take it back because you did this too. And I lied about it. I was like, no, that never happened. I don't remember that. But I think it's kind of interesting. I think it's very convenient that you're trying to pull something like that up when for one thing, I don't even think it happened, but for another thing, you waited this long, apparently, if it even did happen, you waited this long to bring that up, huh? Like, nobody would have gained from that. I would have just lost. They would have lost too, but I would have lost harder because I would have needed to find another job, you know? So, like, there's no reason to stand on honesty in that situation where my asshole boss is pissed off because I rightfully told a customer to leave when he was being a bitch. You know, like fuck that. Excuse me. Put the fish in the bag, Scott. Put the salmon in the bag. Put the salmon in the bag, little bro. Put the salmon in the bag. Sometimes the truth can only work against you. Exactly. Like I think honesty is the best policy, but it's not always the right policy. If we're just being honest here, if we're being honest here, and like it's a situation where you know, I like you don't owe anyone anything a lot of the time. You know, I think you owe people certain things in certain situations, but again, when it's your asshole boss who he didn't have an issue with what happened until it became convenient for him to do so, convenient for him to have an issue with it, yeah, there's no reason to be like, yep, you're right. That happened 6 months ago. I did it, and I guess I shouldn't have, even though it's not what you're trying to make it out to be. You're literally lying about it right now, trying to pretend like it was worse than it was. And then on top of that, you also decided to keep it in your back pocket until it became convenient for you. No, no, no. I'm gonna play it straight with you. Like this is exactly what Sam and Nick talk about in some of their PGL episodes, where it's like, what, you're gonna play it straight with Bank of America? Like, get out of here, you know? Get everything you can within legal limits. That is within the within a legal framework. You know, don't break the law. You know, get everything you can out of those assholes. Find every legal way that you can fucking siphon anything and everything from them. You know, fuck that. Like, don't don't be honest with them. They don't deserve it. You know, fuck them. It would be nice for it to truly be black and white and say, yes, the truth will set you free, but reality is the truth does the opposite in many cases, and it's basis by basis, as with everything. What the fuck was that? Anyway, yeah, like, the reason honesty is not always the best policy is because very few people have done anything to shrink their egos enough as to where when they see someone being honest, they can truly appreciate it, right? And there's times where, like, this is one of those bullshit, like, hippy dippy my child is my friend parenting techniques, but like, people will say, like, oh, it's okay, son, you can tell me anything, just tell me the truth. And like, the son will be like, yeah, I stole some shit and I beat a kid up and I fucking I did some heinous shit. And the parents will be like, oh, okay, all right, okay, well, I'm disappointed, but thank you for being honest. Like, I don't believe in that. If I tell my son to fucking tell me the truth and he tells me he did some fucked up shit, I'm gonna be like, dude, what the fuck, man? What is your problem, bro? I'm gonna call him bro. I'm gonna be like, bro, bruh, bruh, dude, what's your problem? What's your problem, slime? But like, that's one thing, right? It's one thing when it's like, okay, you're my son or my daughter and I need you to tell me the truth, but I also need you to understand there's consequences to your actions, right? um it's something different when it's like, you see, I guess I like, I'm trying to make a point right now that I know what I want to say, but I'm having a hard time figuring it all out, you know. I also have to turn on the light. So I'll be right there. Fucking anyway. Um See, because I started making a point and then I started making another point, like, simultaneously, and that's why I got kind of goofed up. Most people have not released their egos enough as to where they can appreciate honesty in the way that it should be appreciated, you know? If somebody's honest with you, then that should be a mitigating factor in their punishment, you know? And that's something that you see in, say, you know, the court system, right? The court system does it that way, where if you plead guilty, and I know that this is kind of used in a fucked up way, but if you plead guilty, they will take either years or certain punishments off the table. So it's a situation where, like, if you plead guilty to murder, you won't get the death penalty in a death penalty state. Excuse me. If you say, you know, if you plead guilty to, like, armed robbery, instead of 10 years you'll get 5 and maybe parole after like 3 or 4 or something like that, right? That's honestly how, that's honestly how honesty, that's how honesty is meant to be appreciated, if we're being honest here. I keep saying the fucking word, dude. That is how honesty is meant to be appreciated, but most people are simply incapable of that because they are always so focused on whatever harm has been done to them, even if there has been no harm that's done to them. Like, I'll be honest with you, I used to be a bit of a psycho. Even longer before I started working at that grocery store, I was working at a convenience store, right? And this is when I first got a job, and I was, you know, I was starry eyed. I was like, wow, oh, gee, golly, I got a job now. Wow, I'm moving up in the world. working at a fucking 7-Eleven. There was a kid who came in and he had done this like 2 or 3 times before we caught him, right? Like we looked back because he, of course, fucking, uh, the type of guy who would return to the same store the next day and fucking do the same fucking like con that he tried to do. He tried to steal a sandwich, right? This is like a $5 sandwich. Me, I chased this dude out of the store when we caught him, and I almost ran into traffic. Like he straight up ran into traffic over a $5 sandwich. He would have gotten a $50 fine, and he would have been banned from the store. That's what would have happened. I know because the same thing happened to my buddy who he was high as fuck, walked into a store, picked up a sandwich, walked out. Right? Fucking idiot. But anyway, like the reason I did that was because my ego was so big. I had such a big ego that like I basically almost started to view that $5 sandwich as though it was mine when it's not mine. Who gives a fuck? You know, like obviously I don't think people stealing from stores is a good thing, and I think if you can stop it, you should. But did I need to chase him out of the store and into the traffic? No. Like, why the fuck would I do that? You know, that's crazy. That's stupid. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. That's just an example of how people's egos are too big to understand and appreciate honesty. Where when you're honest, instead of them being like, instead of there being like a moment like, ah, yes, relief, this person is being straight with me, we don't have to fight, we don't have to have some bullshit going on, there's a moment of yeah, like there's a moment of like, yeah, that's right, you're trying to fuck with me and I'm gonna fuck with you now. Like that's kind of what happens. If I'm making sense right now, I don't know if I'm making all the sense in the world that I could be making, but you know what I mean. The justice system is the perfect example of both why truth does and doesn't work. I know where this is going. This is hitting home. I did chase a black American dude down the road over €25 worth of diesel he didn't pay for after getting me to carefully explain how pump and pay works. I thought I was doing right, clearly not. Exactly. Like in a situation like that, especially, there's a piece of you that feels like, oh, this guy thinks I'm a punk, you know? Like my car got rifled through the other day, right? It was yeah, it was a week ago. Week and a half ago at this point, right? I came home from the gym. I had a migraine. I literally could not see completely out of my left eye. You know, I was like driving home with the migraine as it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, fuck, 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 fuck. So I get home and I'm just like, fuck this. I want to lay down. I don't want to do anything other than just like lay down. And I accidentally unlocked my car, right? I accidentally unlocked my car and I forgot to lock it again. And sure enough, the very next day, I go to hop in my car for work, and my fucking glove box and my center console, my middle console, is open, and like it was clearly rifled through. And me, I don't keep anything valuable in my car, but there was a piece of me, even though I'm much less attached to my own ego as I used to be. There was a piece of me that was like, all right, I got tonight off. I got fucking tonight off. I got all the time in the world tonight. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out. I'm gonna keep a fucking eye out. You know that there was a piece of me that was thinking that, right? And it was mainly because I was like, oh, people think they're gonna steal from my car, huh? Like that's what happens a lot of time. And I'm sure Cavalog, part of it was that it was like, oh, I was trying to be good to this guy and he thought I was foolish. He thinks I'm stupid. Oh, I'll show him. You know, it's real easy to fall into that. That's how I thought I was gonna have to bring a knife to a gunfight one time. I told the story on my Patreon. I'll give you the whirlwind. Basically, my buddy was living in a place where there was tons of car break-ins, and you know, we caught a guy who was like peeking into his car like that, trying to see if there was anything worth stealing. We go outside. He decides he's gonna leave. And then he comes back later because I guess the reason he was in the neighborhood is because somebody that he was cool with lived in the neighborhood, right? So we confront him again, and it gets heated. I end up throwing a short elbow. I hit him. He squared up, I squared up. Nothing happened though, because I think one, he probably saw that like I clearly knew how to fight, but then two, also like my buddy was with me. I think it was a combination of those two things. It was mostly me though. He was mostly just afraid of me though. Mostly just me. Um, but like he ended up coming back with his friends, and apparently they had a gun, and me and my buddy just had knives. And I just remember thinking I was gonna have to bust out of the fucking house, stabbing the fuck out of somebody, hoping that I could close distance before he knew what was going on to actually fucking shoot at me, you know? Long story short, it didn't happen, right? He just came to try and talk a mean game, and then he left. And we never dealt with those guys again. I think the person who lives in the neighborhood was probably like, "Yo, don't be coming around again. It's just gonna cause trouble." But like the reason that started is because my ego kicked in, and because of that, I was like, "Oh, you think you're gonna steal from my boy? Nah, fuck that." And I let the kid have it, you know. And getting chewed out, and then getting chewed out. They're clowns, can't take it to heart. Oh yeah, like it was fucking stupid what they were doing, you know. They don't realize my buddy was like an army ranger, which like to say that is like that's such a cringe thing to say. But in a situation like that, like I did trust my buddy because he did 2.5 tours. Yeah, no, 2.5 tours in Afghanistan. He hit an IED halfway through his third. He was trying to get up to Green Beret, right? Like I'm not sitting here like my buddy was an Army Ranger, and Army Rangers can fight. Army Rangers can't fight. They can't. But in the case of my buddy sees somebody with a gun, I trust him not to be like, oh shit, you know. Um, he's been in hairier situations than some fucking asshole, walking up and trying to be like, and if we see that guy around, there's gonna be wolves on your front lawn. He literally said shit like that. I remember, like, because it was my buddy went out to talk to these guys. I was in the house, hugged up against the wall, waiting to hear a scuffle so that I would run out and back my boy up, you know? That was my buddy's plan, not mine. Truth be told, like I think we should have just called the cops, but whatever, fucking I don't know what was going through his head. Regardless, um, yeah, like I partially blame my buddy for that situation, okay, and there's reasons for that. One of the reasons is that again, his ego got to him too, where he decided he was gonna bring two buck knives and a fake gun. He had a real looking Beretta 9mm, you know it wasn't real, but it was an airsoft gun, but it was very, very real looking. It even had like the gun weight to it. um he brought that out, and he puts it in the back of his pants like he's gonna pull it on somebody, and like when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, it's go time, and that's where my ego started kicking up. So we kind of fed off each other in that situation, but I should have been smarter to be like, yo, dude, let's take it easy, all right? Fucking, let's call the cops. You want to go out there? We can do something to this guy quick, but we gotta fucking rush. We can't walk over and be like, "Yo, what's good? What are you doing?" It's like wordlessly go out there, take the fucking guy down. We'll talk to him when his ass is on the ground, when his face is being fucking mushed against the pavement, and then the police will get here. That's how we'll do it. Fucking, but like it was it's like I said, I was thinking with my ego. It's important to stand your ground as you did, but when ego is involved in fighting, it always goes south. Oh yeah, like there were better ways that we could have handled it in the first place, but also this kid, after being chased away twice, because I gave you clip notes of the story. If you subscribe to my Patreon, or if you become a channel member, I think it's on the channel. By the way, if you're a patron or a channel member, I apologize for the lack of content. I've just not had the time. I understand if you guys are like, that's it, I'm taking my money elsewhere. But regardless, it like I think it's like an almost half-hour video of me telling this story. Like there's a lot of details that I remember. I still remember I still remember the license plate number to this day. Like I can still rifle it off, and I'm not gonna do that just in case because like I don't want to take the chance of like somebody trying to track down a license plate. Not that I think anybody would, and then it turns out it's not even the guy. you know, I don't know if they recycle license plate numbers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But regardless, like yeah, like there were times where it was a good thing because we chased this dude off twice and then he comes back trying to get like hard about it. He comes up to my buddy's door. I open up the door, he tries getting in my face and it's like, well, all right, pop. Like can't let somebody get in your face like that. It's just the way it works. This is why we need two-way though. It's not even just two-way that we need, it's that we need the right to use two-way, right? The right to like if the founding fathers could see where the country was going to go in terms of like the internet, they would have included an internet bill of rights or something to that effect, right? And then in addition to that, if they saw the way that people were going to outlaw your right to life, which they're doing by outlawing self-defense, they would have not only enshrined the right to bear arms, but they would have been a lot more descriptive. Or not even descriptive, but they would have been a lot more broad in terms of like the right to bear arms and the right to use them if it comes down to it, But like back then, your right to defend yourself was like it didn't need a law. It was just, oh, that guy was coming at you with a gun or a knife and you killed him. Well, I mean, hey, that's what happens. Oh, you thought that guy was seriously going to try and harm you and you hit him and he fell over and he bumped his head and he's dead. Well, I mean, maybe that guy shouldn't have came at you, right? I'm not saying that there was never anybody who was imprisoned for anything like that, but like it was a lot less stringent back then because it was kind of understood that if you didn't want to get killed, maybe you shouldn't put people in situations where they feel like they have to kill you. That's literally it was just a common sense thing. That's why they didn't enshrine that, is because even in England it was like, well, I mean, hey, that guy's trying to impede on my ability to live my life, which is one of the laws that was enshrined in us by God, or however they inalienable rights, fucking natural rights, whatever you want to call it, right? That's one of the natural rights, is the right to life. And somebody who's trying to attack me and hurt or kill me is trying to impede upon my ability to have or to exercise that right to life, right? So it was just kind of understood on like visceral and guttural are not the words that I'm looking for. An instinctual level. It was understood on an instinctual level that like if somebody's going to attack you, there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with doing whatever you have to, up to and including killing him, to make sure that he doesn't do the same to you, But it is what it is. Because like, I mean, name one state in America where you're not allowed to own a gun. Now, you can name states where you're not allowed to own certain guns. You can name states where not everybody is allowed to own a gun just because they happen to be here, i.e. like Massachusetts. It's not a constitutional carry state or anything like that, where like all you need is a driver's license and you're pretty much good to go. It is I think they call it like an at-will state or something like that. Where technically speaking, yeah, they don't really have a reason to tell anybody no, but you still got to apply and you still got to jump through the hoops. You still got to pay everybody who does all the shit, everybody who sends an email, everybody who clicks a file and things like that. You got to pay for that. And then there's no guarantee that you're going to get told yeah, but also they might take like a year to get back to you, and then it might also be a no. They might also be like, oh, we lost your paperwork. Sorry, dude. Maybe send it in again. Start the whole thing over. You're going to be at the bottom of the pile, but at least you'll be in the pile. Like, you can see those states, right? But at the end of the day, you can still buy a gun in Massachusetts. There's actually a list of guns that you're allowed to have in Mass. A lot of people don't realize that. Where, like it's not just AR. It's literally like I'm not allowed to own a 5.7 in Massachusetts. They have like an approved firearms list, and most of them are Smith and Wesson because Smith and Wesson. That's of course the Massachusetts gun, right? They are literally located in Massachusetts. Um, excuse me, but um, the bottom line is like you can own a gun in all 50 states. Even if they try and make it hard for you to do so, even if they make it so that you can only own a certain kind of gun, whatever, try using it though. Try using you jumped through all the hoops. You went to the firearms training course. You wrote a fucking letter to your local fucking whatever, your sheriff, police chief, whoever it is. You had to bust out the crayon and the fucking paper and be like, "Dear Officer Bitch Tits." You had to do that. You had to get fingerprinted by the fucking feds. You literally have to fingerprint and send them into the feds to get a gun. So on and so forth. Fucking your police chief said, yeah, okay, I guess I'll give it to you. You waited however long, you finally got your gun, and some guy from Dorchester tries you. He says he's gonna kill you. He starts trying to take a swing at you. You pull out your gun, you shoot him, as you should. Not legally, of course, but as my opinion is that you should be able to. I'm not saying that is something that is legally justified. You should consult with a lawyer about anything and everything, but you're gonna end up in prison. It's just the way that it is. You do not have a right to defend yourself in the state of Massachusetts, and that's why I am the way that I am when I talk about this stuff, is because I've accepted that, and I don't have guns, right? I'm not saying, like, I'm not even talking about guns at this point, right? We talked about the guns, cutting it off. We're just talking about self-defense at this point. This is why I am the way that I am. This is why I'm so militant, is because I've accepted that if I protect myself from even the fucking the laundry bandit that you guys have seen, the laundry bitch, if I protect myself from her, or more so like her cousin or the dog that she allows to like run around off the leash, and then one of her friends or family tries to get uppity with me after I gotta smack the dog, like if I do any of that, I know I'm going to jail at least, and then maybe they'll let me out, and maybe I'll get a slap on the wrist, hopefully. But if not, I've accepted that I'm probably going to be in prison too. Maybe county, maybe a straight up pen, who knows, right? I have accepted that. And I've accepted it with the understanding that, like, I have done nothing morally wrong, but self-defense is just not legal in the state of Massachusetts, and it's not legal in many places in the United States. Even states where, like, they have stand your ground and stuff like that, it's like, well, you can find plenty of situations where somebody got sent to prison, maybe over some kind of political thing or something like that, but regardless. The point is, like, if you're living in like a place like Massachusetts or another blue state, not to make it like those demon craps, like not to even make it that, but if you're living in a blue state a lot of the time, you just have to come to terms with the fact that, like, if your neighbor, who is a piece of shit, who is constantly trying to threaten people and start with them, tries to come at you, you're gonna end up in cuffs. It's just gonna happen. And when you do that, it allows you to truly like it's almost kind of a freeing thing, if I'm being honest with you, where it's like you realize, like, oh, okay, like, I'm not afraid of it. I don't want it to happen, but I'm also not afraid of it. So I can be as aggressive about it as I want to and need to be. Not that I want to be, but you guys get what I mean. You guys get what I mean. I can be as aggressive. I can be as I can be as just aggressive as I need to be, and I don't have to worry because I've already accepted it. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. Like, I know what I'm saying. I think you guys know what I'm saying. I just feel like I'm not explaining it the best way that I could. And that's kind of why I'm like, J1612, Scott, what's with the weight gain? Have you been stressed? Yes. Yes, actually. I'm a stress eater, and I don't have the time to take care of myself. But I'm hoping that I can do that because I'm hoping I can do that this summer because I am gonna be lifting again. I'm gonna start lifting probably early next month. You know, there's a gym that I'm gonna be going to next month, and I'm gonna have the time is really what I need more than anything. But yeah, anyway, excuse me. Um, you always have to go to court since ever if it was self-defense, any police department will still book you too. Yeah, and I think that's a disgusting thing is that like the police are so like willing to go along with that as well, you know? Yeah, it's just such a disgusting thing. Um, but yeah, it's constitutional right. The local jurisdictions, however, interplay and dilute that right and add arms and legs until you feel it's better to forget all about it as a right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guns specifically. You know, it's if you have to ask, it's not a right. A right implies that you are born with it and you do not have to ask, you know? And that's why I don't think voting is a right. I think voting was always a privilege that you had to earn by signing up for selective service and being a landowner, you know? And you could easily modernize that by making it be a net taxpayer. If you pay taxes, then you have the right to vote. If you don't pay taxes, if you are on welfare, if you get a tax return, essentially, you should not be allowed to pay. You should not be allowed to pay taxes. With fuck, you should not be allowed to vote. Right? Voting was never a right. Voting was always a privilege because you had to be 18 years old, male. You had to sign up for selective service. You can talk about whether or not you want to restrict the franchise to just males, or if you want to open it up to the females as well. That's not the conversation we're having here. I'm just saying that regardless of who is able to vote, it was always a privilege because of the fact that you had to be a certain age and you had to fulfill actually two duties. One, selective service. Two, you also had to sign up for jury duty. You had to be there to answer the call, to do your civic duty for jury shit and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, you know, there's that. There's that. But when it comes to guns, there was never anything that said you have to be 18 years old. You know, you could be a gun owner the second you were out of the womb. Your dad's sitting there with a fucking rifle and AR, places it right on top of you. You don't even have the motor skills to fucking like grab the thing, let alone the strength to hold it. And he's like, "This is yours, son. It's yours. That's yours now. It's it was your birth gun. It was your birth gun, is what it was. You know." Excuse me. Anyway, is dieting harder than exercising? Um, I mean, I can diet. The issue is if I don't exercise, I'm not going to lose weight in the way that I would like to, if it makes sense, you know. Um, and then in addition to that, like I said, I'm a stress eater. The reason I'm a stress eater is because I have nothing else in my life that brings me joy right now aside from like this. If I'm just being completely and totally honest with you guys, I am constantly doing something. I am a union steward at my job, which means everybody bitches at me constantly. I had it happen today. I'll tell you guys a story. I have to work my full time job, and then I have to go straight to my gym where I don't work out anymore. I just teach other people all day, and I'm usually teaching classes that I didn't even want to be teaching in the first place, but they got dumped on me because I'm such a nice guy, and the owner of my gym has not looked for anybody else to replace those classes. Then I get home and I got to deal with the ghetto. I got to deal with living in the ghetto. We in the ghetto, baby. The ghetto. Shit, this ghetto environment, there ain't no opportunity. Shit. Fucking my like outside of fish tank, my life is like stressful, you know. And I'm at a crossroads in my life where I'm 30 years old, and it's about time that I start striking out on my own. You know, I either got to take over my gym or I got to start my own and like get my shit going. You know, um, and you know, it is what it is. Like, what you gonna do? Like, stop? Just stop going to work. Stop doing this stuff that you have to do in order to survive. Like, no, of course not. You know, it's like I think it was in the Hagakure or something like that. I never read the Hagakure. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. But there was some Japanese text that was like a man who cannot function when he's miserable is useless. I'm miserable a lot of the time, if I'm being honest with you, but I'm trying to make sure that my stress levels remain intact, and because of that, I eat fucking junk food. Like literally, I'm eating these tonight. That's what's happening, you know? And people who don't have that kind of willpower to keep going, right? People think willpower, right? Fucking Snurf G, thank you for the $5. Ghetto funds for do-rag and Henny on game. Thank you. Thank you very much, Snurf G. Thank you so much, man. But what I was saying is, like, a lot of people think of willpower as like, oh no, I'm not gonna eat that junk food. And like, don't get me wrong, that does take a certain willpower. It definitely does. But there is a certain, you become habituated. You become habituated to certain things. You become habituated to going to the gym because you get a reward for doing it, right? Eventually you don't even really get like sore as fuck anymore. You know, you still get a little sore here and there, but it's not like your first day back at the gym sore, right? And you start getting a natural high off of it. And then in addition to that, your body starts functioning better and better and better. So it actually becomes a lot easier over time to start picking salmon over fried chicken, or salad over uh, mellow cakes, you know? And I've been in that situation plenty of times, you know, where like I get into a groove and I'm like, nah, it's fine. I'm not going to eat any junk food. I'm not going to drink any soda. Saturday, maybe Sunday too. Those are my cheat days. I'll eat whatever I feel like. But, you know, I ain't doing that. It's easier to do that when you're able to get into a groove. You don't get into a groove when you don't like life. The groove you get into is one of like, I am extremely stressed and I'm trying my best to like make it through the day, and here's some junk food that's going to make me like feel better. At least I have some yummy food I can eat, you know, like let's fucking munch on it, right? All right, I feel a little bit better right now. Now let's go back to the suffering. You know, you don't get over that suffering. You know, you don't get over the suffering. It's always there. It is constant effort. It is constant agony. And that's part of the reason why I take the summers off from my job, is because I start off the work season, if you will, down here. This is like the bottom, and then by the time or a better analogy is, when I start off the work season, it's like I'm just a pot of water, right? And the heat is slowly just being turned up every few weeks, where like I'm just slowly getting closer and closer and closer to boiling. And then by the time I'm at the end of the work season, all of a sudden it's like I'm ready to boil over. You know, I made a joke to my buddy. I was like, is that healthy? Well, it's manageable. You know, I can manage it, but it's tough, dude. It's real fucking tough, you know? And that's why I'm fortunate to have summers off, right? You know, they give me the option, and the seniority that I have allows me to basically get the summers off pretty much every time, right? Because the work slows down and they ask the most senior people first, and I'm at a point with the seniority where it's like I'm just high enough that there's plenty of people below me, so like they're gonna force those people to work instead of me if they have to. But like overall, it's tough, man. It's tough, you know, and it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I too eat like a shallow budget Ed Bass pole. Yeah, you know, small violin plays. Exactly. Feel bad for me. Feel bad for me. Feel bad. Oh, feel bad. No, but like the reason I talk about this is because it's real stuff that nobody talks about, because it's not pretty, you know? And I'm not doing it in like the way that you would expect like a YouTuber, like they start out the video with a sigh and they're like, "So, I'm depressed." Like that's not, you know, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm talking about it in a way that is meant to shine a light on negative coping mechanisms, because I have a lot of negative coping mechanisms that I am aware of, right? But I'm balancing them. I'm making sure that they don't go too overboard, if that makes sense. And this is just like, it's real easy to end up in a spiral because of that kind of thing. It's real easy to lose control of yourself. And it's just a reality that, like, if you are in a similar situation, you don't have to look at some Andrew Tate bitch and be like, oh, but Andrew Tate's winning. But maybe I'm just not alpha enough. Maybe I'm just not alpha enough. Andrew Tate took the easy way out. He started doing underhanded things to women to make money. And he also took advantage of guys who were, I mean, parasocially, but in their minds, in love with those women that he was taking advantage of in the first place, you know? That's taking the easy way out. There's a lot of guys that take the easy way out, and that's why they're able to take care of themselves, you know? And that's something that Sam alluded to years ago when he was talking about why Jocko Willink is, like, full of shit, is because, like, the recipe to success isn't wake up and drink a green juice. That's what you do when you've already become successful. On your way up to that success, you're sitting in front of a computer for like 12 hours a day. Someone's like, "Hey, you want to do this?" You're like, "Shut up and leave me alone." And you're like, you're eating your fucking, what are they called again? I don't even, mellow cakes. You're eating your mellow cakes while you're working on whatever it is you're working on. You know, that is what grinding really is like, you got mustard on a shirt that you haven't changed in 2 or 3 days because you've just been just feverishly working at whatever you're doing, you know? That's what that is. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think success is like, I wake up and I wash my face in water, you know, in sparkling water, actually. They think that's what success being, or you know, like grinding is. They think that's what grinding is, you know. All that other stuff that you see is like excess, the decadent excess of somebody who has too much money, and they are convincing themselves that this like bullshit self-care is actually what they need in order to be successful, when really it's just they got too much money and too much time on their hands now, you know. It's like how a middle manager will micromanage somebody because they feel that they don't actually have a reason to be around, so they're trying to justify their job in their own head, because they're like, well, if I don't feel like my job is justified, how does the guy over there think about me? He probably thinks I'm twice as unjustified, and he's going to get rid of me. He's going to find a redundancy in what I do. So what I got to do is I got to annoy the fuck out of the people below me, and then the people above me will be like, wow, he really knows how to crack the whip. Like that, it's kind of the rich dude version of that, where it's like, oh, like, fuck, I made my money, I don't have to do that much anymore. I get on the phone for 30 minutes. I get on the phone for 30 minutes, and then maybe I do a podcast or something like that. I don't fucking know, man. And then I have all this free time. Like, why don't I start washing my face in sparkling water? You know, why don't I do that 3 times a day? That sounds like a good idea. Um, Jocko is definitely a deep state actor. I don't know. I don't know. Fucking wakes up at 4 a.m. and sweats into a muddy, smelly yoga mat just so he can show his followers how about it he is, exactly. You know. I remember telling a manager she does fuck all and everyone knows it. What an insane conversation. 10 out of 10 would recommend for the experience to anyone. Oh, yes. It's so great being able to tell your boss to fuck off in some way, shape, or form. I would recommend it if you have the ability to, but only if you have the ability to. Like, don't come to me and be like, you told me to fucking cuss out my boss and he fired me. Be strategic about it. Be strategic about it. You know, I got to do that. When I went back to work from the last summer break, we had a new manager, and he was an absolute piece of shit. And I got to tell him to his face, I don't sweat you. And there were multiple people in the room, and they were both like, ooh. They both had this like, ooh, kind of look on their face, like, damn, 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 boy, damn. Oh, fuck. Yeah, they had that look on their face though. I can remember it. We still, me and the other manager, I'm not a manager, but like me and his old colleagues, the other managers, we still talk shit about that guy to this day. We were talking shit about him earlier, me and one of the managers, you know. That's one of our favorite topics is just how much we fucking could not stand that guy, you know. And I know if he was in the room, I wish he was in the room. I wish he was in the room too, because he would have loved to fucking see that, you know. Just being able to sit here and like give my boss grief and then be like, I ain't afraid of you, is like, oh man, I I almost came, I almost came in my pants. I was rock hard, damn it. Anyway, um, Jocko and Joe Rogan are the same person, kinda, sorta. Man, what's gonna happen when some Franklin Child Rink shit comes out on Joe and Dana? What's Franklin Child Rink? What the fuck is that? Let's Franklin Child Rink, or is it Ring? Is it Ring? Um. Uh. Franklin Backyard Ice Rink. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think that's I don't think that's what you were talking about there. Um have any of you guys built a backyard ice rink before? My dad did that at one point. Okay, all right, 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 okay, all right. Here it is. Here it is. I think I actually watched a I might have watched a documentary on this on YouTube. We'll deep dive though. We'll deep dive. Anyway, um fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, have you guys ever built an ice rink in your backyard or anything like that? My dad did that one year, and it didn't turn out great, but it turned out just good enough. We were able to use it. You know, and it's nice because you got a whole fucking like you know you got ice for the whole summer, and you ain't got to worry about like, oh, what if the pond isn't frozen over enough? I don't want to fall through. You know, fucking people die that way. But anyway, Franklin child prostitution ring allegations. Notice allegations. That's interesting that they attach that there. It's funny how they throw that right there. Uh, the Franklin child prostitution ring allegations began in June 1988 in Omaha, Nebraska, when multiple prominent Nebraska politicians and business figures were accused of involvement in a child sex trafficking ring. The allegations attracted significant public and political interest until late 1990, when separate state and federal grand juries concluded that the allegations were unfounded and that the ring was a carefully crafted hoax. Interesting. Let's see what these guys who decided to investigate themselves had to say about it. You know, we've investigated ourselves and we've come to the conclusion that it's not true. Anyway. In 1988, state and federal authorities began looking into allegations that prominent citizens of Nebraska, as well as high-level U.S. politicians, were involved in a child prostitution ring. Alleged abuse victims were interviewed, who claimed that children in foster care were flown to the east coast of the United States to be sexually abused. The accusations primarily centered on Lawrence E. King Jr., who ran the now defunct Franklin Community Federal Credit Union in Omaha, Nebraska, and alleged that King hosted lavish parties at which minors were sexually abused. King was a rising figure in the Republican Party before the investigation and owned multiple houses in Nebraska, along with a house in Washington, D.C., which he rented. The Franklin Credit Union was raided by authorities investigating the embezzlement of tens of millions in November 1988. Oh yeah, so I did read about this. Not read, I did watch something about this, excuse me. The Nebraska legislature organized a state committee in December 1988 to look into both the credit union embezzlement and the child prostitution allegations, named the Franklin Committee, led by State Senator Lauren Schmidt and Ernie Chambers acting as vice chair. Numerous conspiracy theories spread after the committee was announced, claiming that the alleged abuse was part of a widespread series of crimes, including devil worship, cannibalism, drug trafficking, and spooky arms dealing. Apparently, CIA arms dealing. That is pretty crazy. In July 1990, private investigator Gary Caradori, hired by the Franklin Committee to investigate the allegations, died along with his 8-year-old son when his plane disintegrated in mid-air near Chicago. It didn't crash. It wasn't even it didn't even like, engine failure. It didn't even explode. It disintegrated in mid-air. And he just happened to be a private investigator who was hired by the Franklin Committee. Foul play was suspected by Caradori's brother and state senator Lauren Schmidt, but was not proven by investigators. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be kind of hard to prove when apparently it disintegrated in midair. No definitive cause for the crash has been established. The Nebraska State Foster Care Review Board submitted the results of a 2-year investigation into the alleged physical and sexual abuse of foster children to the Executive Board of the Nebraska Legislature, who were investigating reports of child sexual abuse linked to the credit union. So again, we're gonna investigate ourselves, and when we find nothing, we're gonna be like, here you go. Oh, we didn't find anything. Fucking A. In July 1990, a separate county investigation by a grand jury in Douglas County, where Omaha, Nebraska is situated, determined the abuse allegations were baseless, describing them as a carefully crafted hoax and indicting 2 of the original accusers on perjury charges. They never indict people on perjury charges for something like that. That's not something that happens. That's not just something like you could lie about anybody, about anything at any time. Rarely will you ever see perjury utilized, because a lot of people are afraid of the implication that, like, if you charge someone for perjury, it's like, well, can you actually prove that it was perjury, for one thing? But then in addition to that, will other people be afraid to come forward in the future, right? That's why so many people who are very clearly like provably lying about rape accusations and things like that, they don't get charged after the fact, because a lot of the time, like, the judge is sympathetic even if they know that it's like a bullshit claim, where they're like, well, I mean, I don't want to harm women in the future because, well, then what if somebody else ends up getting hurt? So to see that right here is like, oh, red flag. That's a big red flag. That is a bigger and redder flag than any fucking commie, Soviet, Chinese, whatever flag I've ever seen. But anyway, the grand jury suspected that the false stories originated from a fired employee of Boys Town, which is such a terrible name. That is such an insidious sounding name, who might have fueled the fire of rumor and innuendo because of personal grudges, but refused to name someone as the source of the stories. I again, fueled the fire of rumor and innuendo. That's such a political theater thing to say, In September 1990, a federal grand jury also concluded that the abuse allegations were unfounded and indicted 21-year-old Alicia Owen, an alleged victim, on 8 counts of perjury. Owen served 4.5 years in prison. The same federal grand jury later indicted King and multiple officers of the credit union with embezzlement of funds. In 1991, King pled guilty to assisting in embezzling $39 million and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. In spite of the findings of the grand jury, Paul Bonacci, a witness who was also charged by the grand jury but ultimately not convicted, filed a civil suit against King the same year. Bonacci won the case after King failed to defend himself, leading the judge to award a default judgment. Okay. All right. Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. There's some sick fucks out there. The documentary from 1993 for this was banned in the United States. Really, Snurf G? What was that documentary called? I'm curious about that. Because what I saw was it was a YouTube video. It wasn't like a documentary. It was just a YouTube video. Um, Snurf G says I live in Lincoln, Nebraska. I've met a few people that were involved in this shit. The guy that blew the whistle on them all was killed in an aircraft accident. Ah, yeah, of course, of course he was. It's fucked up, man. You know, it's always fucked up when you find out about shit that's close to home. You know, like I found out about shit that's kind of close to home, but like I'm trying to remember what it was. Like there was some kind of Pizzagate shit that was related to Boston at one point. I'll be honest with you, when Pizzagate was going on, I didn't pay any attention to it, right? Even when Epstein was found out, which vindicated Pizzagate. That like I just didn't really pay too close attention to it. You know, I was kind of in the Chud camp. Nothing ever happens. You know, I was firmly in that camp. Because I mean, let's be real here. When's that flight list, or not even the flight list, but when's the guest list being released? Probably never. You know, it's probably going to become a new JFK Files thing. Is probably what it's going to end up being. But regardless of that, you know, like recently I was listening to Mouthy Buddha, which is like that's a blast from the past. That name. I was listening to Mouthy Buddha's Pizzagate documentary, and he mentioned that there was somebody from Boston. It was like some art fucking person or something like that, and it's like, oh, interesting. Other than that, though, there was the Fall River cult, which that was pretty fucked up, you know. There was some Satanists that were conducting ritual murders and stuff like that in the Freetown Forest, you know. They even did one of the murders at Diamond High School, which is a high school in Fall River, you know. Um, Man, I have a link to the documentary. You should send it to me, Snurf G, on like Instagram or Twitter or something like that. I'd be interested in it, you know. This 100% all happened in the 70s with all the biggest, wealthiest bank businessmen and women disgusting Roman Polanski shit. Oh yeah, of course, you know. Oh yeah, you can do Discord too. You can do Discord as well. You know, good thing you guys have the Boston female firefighters to save you guys. Yeah, yeah, we have the Boston female firefighters, and we have the Martin Luther King statue that looks like a somebody hugging a dick. Hold on, MLK statue, Boston. Bless you. Look at this. Look at this shit. This is in Boston. This was put in the last like 4 or 5 years. I can remember when this eyesore was not a prominent piece of the Boston Common, and here it is now. It looks like hugging a giant dick, or maybe like a turd or something like that. I guess it was supposed to be, yes, this, literally this. MLK was just let out of jail or something like that. You know, I would assume he probably was like having some orgies in there or something like that. He probably got put in on purpose so that he could find some new butt boys. But when he got out, he gave his wife a totally not zesty hug. That's totally not a zesty hug, baby. Come look at this. Come look at this. Right. Right. Is this husband and wife, or is this woman and gay best friend?
That's no husband and wife.
Yeah, that's supposed to be husband and wife. Martin Luther King was like literally a homosexual. Is like what the fucking conspiracy theory is, and with pictures like that, it's kind of hard to be like, aha, no, he totally not a single not an ounce of zest, not even an ounce. It's very very hard to argue against that, you know. But yeah, that's something we have to deal with, and I mean, fucking look at this, fucking look at this, look at it. What the fuck? What is fucking a? Get out of here. You also have Black Lives Matter and Antifas. Yeah, I mean the BLM and the Antifa people aren't like in other regions. You know, they're not as they're not. I mean, Antifa was never tough in the first place, but at least they would show up to fight. You know, like that's something almost respectable about like some of the Portland Antifa people and stuff like that from when I was watching all that stuff years ago, back when I was like, come on, fight already. Like at least the Portland and the Seattle and like the Berkeley Antifa would show up and they'd be like, all right, let's go get them, and then they'd get fucked up. Like there's almost a respectability about that, even though they're like dirty commies and they need to like leave. You know, putting it as nicely as possible, they need to leave. Uh, yeah, but anyway, at the very least, they would throw hands. You know, like I've never seen any Antifa in the Northeast throwing hands. You know, we like fucking the Northeast used to be a tough place, you know, and now it's not as much anymore. At least not the greater Boston area, you know. The greater Boston area is a fucking joke. So it's a fucking joke, kid. It's a fucking joke, dude. Uh just want to make sure. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. So apparently this is it right here. Apparently this is it right here. I'm gonna watch that later. I'm gonna watch that later for sure. You know. Thank you, Snurf G. I appreciate that, man. You know. Um, what am I looking at? I'm pretty sure I already explained it. Smart moron. But that was the MLK statue that they put in the middle of. They put that in the middle of. What do they put in the middle of? They put that in the middle of the Boston Common. So if you go to the Boston Common, which is kind of like our Central Park area in Boston, if you will. That's where you can see the State House. You know, it's a short walk to the north end, as well as like Faneuil Hall. You know, you want to go to Faneuil Hall, you're probably gonna hit. No, excuse me. You want to go to the north end, you're probably gonna hit Faneuil Hall on the way, right? And then like you want to go further west, and you start hitting like Fenway and shit like that. Um, there's a big ass park in Boston, and they added that statue within the last like 4 or 5 years. I want to say it was, you know, and it was a stupid. It was really dumb. Anyway, Q Ben Affleck movie about Bostonians going soft. Yeah, that's exactly like dude, I would love to be in I would love to be in a Boston movie. Let me in The Departed too. All right, I'll play Leonardo DiCaprio's son who grew up without a dad, so now he's like on the street life, you know. And he's like, I don't care about my fucking dad. He got fucking shot when I was a kid. I don't care. Fuck it. He wasn't around. I never needed him anyway. You know, and then probably Mark Wahlberg would have to be like, your dad was a good guy. He was a good guy, and he would be ashamed of what you're doing right now. And I'll be like, you think I give a fuck? Maybe he shouldn't have gotten shot. And then Mark will be like, you are gonna turn your life around. You know that? Actually, we're gonna do a Departed movie, but it's just gonna be me. It's just gonna be me. It's gonna be me playing all the roles in The Departed. Is what it's gonna be. Fuck him. Anyway. Oh man. There used to be a statue installation of a cow stuck in a tree here years ago, but thankfully nothing nothing like that. Yeah. Fucking I mean that sounds kind of funny in a certain sense. It sounds almost kind of like whimsical to a degree, I guess. But it's still like, you know, still like, oh, what the hell? Ooh, excuse me, I'm tired today. I'm gonna play a couple of games of AoE. I've been doing real low effort streams, and I've been doing real quick streams. This is gonna be another real quick stream because I'm in the middle of some shit right now. I told you all the stuff that I deal with. That's just the constant stuff. That's the stuff that's like every single day I gotta deal with. There's also all of the circumstantial stuff. Excuse me, the stuff that's going on where it's like I gotta put out a small fire that came up randomly. And I'm trying to put out one of those small fires right now. uh, Twitch banned Kanye West. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Fucking, I'd love to see Kanye on the Fish Tank site. You know who else randomly popped in my head that I would also love to see on Fish Tank? Is fucking Gary Busey. If you got like, I think Celts versus Celts, eh? I think Gary Busey is probably accessible enough now that Jet and Sam might be able to get him if they went through the right channels. Like, and that would be the best fucking thing to see Gary Busey as a freeloader on Fish Tank for even just like 2 days. Just like 2 or 3 days. That would be the best fucking shit. Because Gary Busey, like, he from what I've seen of him, I was watching interviews of him with him earlier. I think he's self-aware. I think he knows, like, hey, I kind of look weird now and I sound weird, and I was always a little eccentric before. I was always joking around, doing and saying stuff that was a little out of pocket and out of left field. That was part of my character. But especially now, like, fucking, like, I'm letting people have it. I have a feeling he's probably like, nah, let's just give the people what they want. They want to see crazy Gary, and I feel like he would like he would. Gary Busey will need to be paid to leave. That is pretty funny, but like, I want them to bring Gary Busey on. I just think that's a good get for them. I think that's a really good get for them. That's like one of those. It'd be like Andy Dick to a degree, where it's like, oh fuck, Andy Dick, what's he doing there? Damn, that's crazy. Let's watch Andy Dick just be Andy Dick for a while. It's like, damn, let's see Gary Busey be Gary Busey, while all these people who many of which probably don't even know who he is, because, like, when's the last time he's been in a movie, right? Um, but like, let's just see him be himself while these fucking, like, zoomers are like, oh, I'm on Fish Tank now, I'm gonna be famous, this is my big break. They they gotta deal with him making weird ass noises and shit like that. Like, I think I'm convinced. I'm convinced that not only is this a good idea, but it's something they could easily do. I really think they could easily get that. You know, I'm genuinely sold, says Cavalog. Exactly. Like it's something you wouldn't think of, but when you do, you're like, oh fuck, that's actually kind of perfect. You know, I gotta talk to Jet. I'm gonna call Jet right now. I seriously couldn't think of a setup. I seriously couldn't think of a better setup than him playing Gold Striker's father, dude. That'd be great. That'd be the fucking best. Oh wait, what am I doing? Silly me. I gotta go across and then bang. There's no way this guy's gonna beat me with Celts. You see, I've been doing really good lately, and because of that, I've been facing stiffer competition. Um, and I've been feeling that. I dropped the last two that I played because I was playing against guys that are in that 900 to 1,000 elo. Um, and it's tough. It's tough, you know. But like this, I don't think this guy's gonna be able to beat me with the Celts. I think I play Celts too good. Although the guy who beat me for the second time last night, the second guy who beat me last night, he didn't play with the Celts. He played with the Franks, but he used the exact strat that I use. Plant a castle. Oh, what a fucking bastard. Plant a castle right there, you know. There, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna lure this asshole there. 'Cause I don't think this guy's actually I don't yep. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Once he gets deep enough. Bang. And there we go. Alright, get the fuck out of here. Sick. But yeah, he was the guy last night. You see, I'm starting to lock in a little bit. The guy last night was playing with the Franks, and he planted a castle right down, and he beat me at my own game, and he did it better than I could have done it right now. You know, he just had better everything. You know, better uh better unit composition. He had better yeah, fuck it, I'll do that one. He had better unit composition. He had slightly better time on the castle age. He had a better eco, you know? So it's like, damn. Charleston White, maybe some Jersey Shore people, and Hassan Piker as special guests. That'd be hilarious. Get Hassan on, tell him it's like some kind of weird, like, who wants to be the next iDubbbz thing. Gary is the real Duke in Blood Games 2.0, only revealed after Sam's character is finally killed. Hell yeah. Come on. Tell me I'm going to be able to... Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm good. I'm going to snag that one. Where the hell did my... You fucking idiot. Get your ass back here. I got to lure these guys. I don't even know what they are. I just looked it up. You can book Gary through MNS2 for a whole host of things. Interesting. Does it say appearances? Does it say appearances on there? I would assume it does. The thing is, like, would it be monetarily worth it? I think is the big question. You know, would it be worth it on a monetary level, for Jet and Sam to do that? Because as great as it would be, it's like I'm sure Gary's probably not cheap as fuck. You know, dude, what the fuck? What are these two idiots doing? 5, 6. Oh, what the dude? Really? 1, 2. Okay. Oh wow, that was stupid as hell. I had somebody in there the entire time. Oh fuck, I'm fucking up in the game right now. But luckily for me, I'm at least a little bit ahead of this guy. Then oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Go right back. Take this and go there. Speaker appear, you can choose. He goes in person. I'm about 10 minutes away from calling the agents myself. I'm not entirely convinced he's expensive either, based on what is listed as he's available for. I mean, hey, you never know. You never know. Like, I'm not telling you to call Cavalog, but like, if we can find info that shows that he's not that expensive, then like I will bring that up to Jet. I will hit up Jet. Maybe not right this second, but I will hit up Jet and be like, yo, like, Like, I think Gary Busey is going to be perfect for this, dude. I think you need Gary. I think you need him. Come on, baby. All right, there we go. I'll do that one. What's going on, Neon? How you doing, man? I ordered Zip like an idiot and got a box of lights, a box of electrolytes. I didn't like. I didn't get to try real Zip. You know, it was just a prop on season 2. I didn't know it, but it was just a prop because I never got to try season 2 Zip. I tried Zip on Blood Games, but like I said, that one was just a prop. So it ended up being like all right, we're good there. You know, oh shit. Hmm. Wait, so then sorry, I'm confusing myself here. Oh, all right, we're good. We're good. What, baby? What's it in there? Okay, go ahead, grab it. It's okay. Um, yeah, I literally forgot what I was talking about a second ago because like I noticed something was off with my build order and I immediately snapped into that, you know. But like yeah, like you know, I think Gary Busey would be a fun get. I think he would be on brand for Fish Tank given the way that he acts in public. And he seems like he'd probably be a really cool guy in person. That's nerve wracking. That's just a little bit nerve wracking. Oh yeah. Okay, okay. I see. Yeah, I didn't get to try real Zip or anything like that. It just didn't happen. Just found it. Starting price 40 to 80K. This is an amazing idea. Give me 7 years to get a PhD, and I'll actually fund it myself. All right. Let me know when, Cavalog. Let me know when. Um. Hmm, yeah. I need to make sure I get these things. I don't know what this guy's about to be up to. You know, his score hasn't jumped like crazy, so I would assume I'm probably in all right shape. So right now, you know, but we'll see. We shall see. Hit there, and yeah. So then, at the very least, I can also. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant here, and then go there. Also gonna put this here. Oh, that was kind of a shitty spot to put it in, but whatever. What you gonna do? I'll see what I can do there. I said hi. Please respond. I said hello, Neon. You're talking to the kids. You're talking to the chillin'. Yeah, everybody say hello to Neon. What are you guys doing? Tell Jet make it 8 just in case. I'll let him know. I'll let him know. Don't you worry. Um, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck. And then send some over there. It's past my bedtime. Indeed, it is. It's 10:30. 10:30 EST. 10:30 Est. I've been having a hard time sleeping. That's also the stress, you know. People don't realize how negative of an effect stress has on your life, you know. It's not just like, "Oh, darn it, I don't feel that great in the moment right now." It's literally that like your entire life is being like turned upside down because of stress, you know. It's like fuck. All right, I'm gonna go 4-2 there because that's where they belong right now. Yeah, this guy is dragging ass. He got a head start on the whatever it's called, on Castle Age. You know, I don't know why he's like I said, I don't know why he's dragging ass. Silly move on his part. Alexander Herland says, I would assume it's Herland. Alexander Herland says, been forever since I played this. Loved it though when it first came out. Oh yeah, I mean it's what, 25 years old. You know, not much. Only slightly younger than me. Only slightly younger. Yeah, it's such a great game. Just fun as hell to play. You know. Me, I'm kind of addicted to it. I'm part of the reason I'm still playing the hell out of this is because, for one thing, like I haven't gotten Oblivion yet. I'm probably gonna get Oblivion maybe like next week, the new Oblivion, right? I'm probably not gonna have an Oblivion Sunday this week either. It's just probably just not gonna work out. Yeah, I got some shit going on, but on top of that, oh duh. I'm not even making bills right now. It's because I know this attack is probably gonna go like halfway decent. I would hope it will anyway. But then again, maybe I shouldn't be like, I know it's gonna go well. I need a plan for the inevitability that may end up coming. Um, fuck. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, like I would be playing the new Oblivion right now, but I just don't have it yet, you know, and I'm gonna get it next week just because that's when I'm gonna get it. But then in addition to that, I'm also waiting for the summer to play Morrowind because I want to experience Morrowind at a time where I don't have to worry about being up for work all the time. I want to have like a couple of late night gaming sessions where it's just me, a pizza. Like as stupid as it is, as Reddit as it is, I want to have one of those nights where it's like, oh, it's summer night. I ordered some pizza. I've got a fucking 2 liter of Mountain Dew, and we're gonna play some video games. Um. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, I want to be able to do that with Morrowind. I want to have like an experience with it where it's like I don't have to worry about, oh, I got work tomorrow. I want to experience it that way where it's like I don't have a care in the world. I'm just enjoying the game, you know? So like I have Morrowind on my computer. I've had it on my computer for 2 years now. And I'm just gonna do my thing with it, you know? Yeah. I want to destroy that thing because he's gonna end up fucking he's gonna create something that's gonna help. Oh, dude, this guy, forget about it. He just doesn't have five. There he ain't got nothing he's gonna be able to do. Yeah, like I do consider myself like as stressed out as I get. I do consider myself to be very lucky that like I have the schedule that I do. When I'm able to take the time off that I'm able to take off. That's part of what allows me to be involved in Fish Tank in the way that I am. Um, for season two, because we get 2 times out of the year off. We get the summers off, and then we get like a month in the winter off. Because like the work just slows down so much. It's like they give people the option. Um, just taking them out one by one, one by one. Anyway, this guy does have a lot of fucking bills though. I need to make sure I have tons and tons of bills, and I need to build a fourth thing right now is what I need to do. I'll go here. I'll go here. A fourth, a third. Silly me. What the what? All right. Damn. You know, like during season 2, I was off for about a month because the work slowed down enough and they gave me the option and I decided, fuck it, I'll take a month off, you know? Like for the most part, you know, like that was the fish tank season. That was 4 out of the 6 weeks of the fish tank season. Blood games and bitch tank. I was around so much. I was able to do those because I didn't have to worry about work because, you know, I could just clear my schedule because I didn't, like I said, I didn't have to worry about it, you know? Any future seasons I'm hoping and praying are going to be during that off time, you know? That's really what I'm hoping for is that they'll give it to me during that off time. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make tons of these bad Larrys. I'm also going to... I hear Bethesda 2 is opening soon. Oh, yeah. Bethesda 2. Fallout 3 remaster in 2 years. Elder Scrolls 6 and 3. Dude, they're taking way too fucking long to get Elder Scrolls 6 out. Knowing that it's going to be slop, too. Like, I don't have a lot of faith in Elder Scrolls 6. I would love for it to be great, obviously, you know. And I don't want to naysay just to naysay, but, like, I think after all the disappointment we've had over the last, you know, decade, it's been, like 11, 12, maybe even 13 years of just slop, you know? It's like, hey, I think it's fair, you know? I think it's fair to be like, hey, maybe like it's okay to expect that this shit is gonna suck eventually, you know? Ooh, okay. You see this guy's score is rising. It's probably because he's got a castle or something coming, you know. I'm gonna have to make sure that I can I'm gonna have to try to make sure I get center castle. What the fuck? Center control of the center. I also need to be very careful to not let him get to imp too quickly. You know, if he gets to imp before I do, which you know the current rate, I'm nervous. I'll be honest with you. I am a little bit nervous. Yeah, that could spell disaster for me. That you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. 8, 9, 10. Easy peasy. Yep, right there. Also need this. I'm doing it like the hard way, queuing up this shit instead of just shift and click. I'm like, nah, let's click each individual one. All right, I need to make sure. Well, first off, you get your ass over there. Second, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're up. There it is. That's where I put it. Oh man, dude, I should have canceled. I should have canceled some of that shit. I really should have canceled some of that shit. Well, some of that shit meaning some of the vills, you know. I sat there waiting for the vills to get done queuing, you know. Need to get more of that shit too. See, if I can get to Imperial in enough time to upgrade my battering rams, I might not even really need anything else. You know, if I can just upgrade them one step above, I'm in good shape. I don't know if this guy has anything too big over me or anything like that. He might. Just in case, I'm going to go here too, and then maybe, yeah, you know, fuck it, I'll go here and here too. Yeah, I should. I'm trying to get used to center control. I'm trying to get used to center control is what I'm trying to do, you know? And yeah, we'll see how it works. Oh, uh-oh, time to go. You guys get your asses in there, huh? Oh, see, I need them to destroy those things because those things do pretty fucking well against the whatever it's called. Go, 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 go. Actually, you know what? I want you. Oh, damn. That one. So, up and then here. Silly me. Silly me. Aren't I silly, boys? Aren't I just a silly goose? Alright, so then let's hit these just to get them. And then let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what the fuck? No, I wanted 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, yeah, cool. See, that's a fight I can take. You know, having a fight underneath that thing, I can take that right now. That's worth it for me. I'm willing to do it just to further because he's trying to build up. He's kind of like a sandcastle right now. Like I've noticed he kind of builds up and he gets his shit knocked down, and then it just is what it is from there. You know. Let's go bang bang. All right, so just in case, and then I will also see he hasn't upgraded his infantry at all, which is an interesting choice to me, you know. Either way, like I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to lure his shit out instead of him being able to fucking blast behind there, you know. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And in fact, you know what? I'm kind of desperate here. Kind of no. I ain't that desperate. I ain't that desperate. I ain't that desperate. What I will do though, just to fuck with him a little bit more. Nah, fuck that. This is either going to go really good or really bad trying to put that there. I don't know which. We shall see. We shall see. I'm actually still not quite where I need to be with Vills. I'm a lot better at Vill creation than I used to be, but I'm still not exactly where I got to be at, you know. That's no bueno. Son of a bitch. Damn. What you gonna do? Oh wow, that worked a lot better than I anticipated. Shit. I don't know how that worked. And this is not working out the way I need it to, but apparently he's trying to be cute with this shit, so, you know. Yeah, so one. Oh, damn. Yeah, he's gonna be trying to take that thing down. I can't let him do that. I gotta hope and pray I'm able to fucking do something about that in a timely fashion. It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be real tough. Yes, here. Oh yeah, he might actually be able to fucking take that thing down, which is gonna suck, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, his score is a lot better than mine right now, which again also makes me nervous. Ah, son of a bitch. Let me guess. He's got Trebs, doesn't he? He's got fucking Trebs. I guarantee you he's got Trebs. Hmm. That sucks, dude. That fucking sucks. Like and that's what I'm saying is like I'm good. I'm good with the Celts. Like dudes shouldn't be able to beat me with the Celts, but I'm facing tougher competition now, you know? Like this guy actually knows how to fucking do Vil creation. Fucking not Vil creation, but you know, like he's able to really make it hurt, you know? And that sucks for me. I'm going to lose this for sure. Like I might as well just call it, you know what? Fuck it. I'll call it now. I don't care. Whatever. I want a rematch though. I will say I want a rematch. I want to see if he'll take it. He's got like 5 seconds before I just say fuck it. Yeah, because like again, like you know, my rating is 839 right now. That's after a negative 14. His is 888. He's practically in the 900s range right now. Yeah, he's being an asshole. But um yeah, like I guarantee you he probably had a better Vil count than me. You know, he was able to bounce back. You could see he was taking from mid map earlier than I was in terms of his the stuff, the stone and gold and stuff like that. It's something I've been getting better at, you know, but it's still like all right. So Glade, I kind of like Glade, but I also kind of don't like Glade. I don't know what it is. All right, so Huns. I feel like I played this guy the other day. And then probably around there. You guys talking about Spyro in there? Any game with Spyro, even one he just cameoed in was in an extra character in Crash Bandicoot. That's all I used to need, nothing more. Yeah, Spyro was a really good series back in the day. I had at least one of the games. I feel like I might add two. It's been a long time, so yeah, it's easy to forget exactly what I had. Sony is dead. The little devs are keeping everything alive. Consoles won't be a thing in 10 years. Wouldn't surprise me, you know? Oh, excuse me. Um, PCs are becoming easier and easier to understand and utilize. So because of that, like people will probably just start buying PCs. Fucking, you know, like even me, like I don't know anything about computers. I know the terminology for some of the shit. Graphics card, fucking CPU, RAM. You know, I know some of that shit, but like overall, I couldn't tell you anything about it. Um, hmm. Actually, you know what? So yeah, here, there, and then across, and then back here. Anyway, yeah, it's not like I actually know anything about this stuff. I just bought a pre-built computer. It's whatever, you know. Like, you're going to get to a point where when somebody asks what the best computer is, people will actually have an answer for you, you know? Because that's what kept me from buying a computer for a long time was I'd ask, "Oh, so what do you think the best build for somebody who wants to play video games would be?" And you'd get dudes who were like, "Well, that really depends on what you're trying to do with the video games." I'm blah blah blah. Like, you can't just have a, "Hey, here's what you want." There's always got to be a, "Oh, well, you see, you're asking a complicated question." It's like Xavier Renegade Angel when somebody asks him like, "Do you believe in God?" He's like, "Well, that is a very hard question. It helps no one to be reductionist." You know, like and then he goes on like a fucking tangent. He's like, "Would you be interested in reading some of my literature?" You know, I feel, oh, fuck. You see, I'm already fucking up in the game here. I'm literally already fucking up. Downtime. Yeah, fuck it, I guess we go there. So yeah, I walked right into his base. That's interesting, I guess. I guess that's cool. I guess. Xbox literally wants to shut down the console business and just sell Game Pass and their studios of games. Not surprising, you know. It's just the next step in like the greed, the fucking like whenever you talk about corporate anything, you sound like a fucking blowhard. But like it's just corporate greed, you know. That's all it is, you know. You surprised? Are you surprised that the corpos are being greedy? Where you been? Oh, I guess we're going there too. One, two, bada bing, bada boom. Add a couple more. Those guys just happen to be running in, so I was like, whatever, I'll take care of them quick. You know, shouldn't be should be ready in no time. What the fuck? What are you guys doing? All right, yep. So we're good there. Yeah, you see, I'm already like fucking up here. I'm probably gonna lose this one too, and it's partially because I'm trying to talk to you guys. So really, what I'm saying is it's your guys' fault. It's your guys' fault. I'm losing. Is what it is. 20, 21, 22. Yep. There's gonna be somebody out there who acts like I'm being serious, which like I was thinking, right? It's funny to me because I've done some shit on camera that I feel really really stupid for doing, right? And the only thing I ever see me getting made fun of is the stuff that was clearly supposed to be a joke. So like somebody is aggressively misunderstanding a joke on purpose so that they can feel like I don't know, smarter or cooler than me or something like that. I don't know what their deal is. Meanwhile, there's so many instances of me doing something that's genuinely like I think about it to this day. Like I talked about it. One of the times was when I ashed in Nifty's hair. That was like not only was that really mean spirited, but that was also just like cringe. That's like what the annoying guy does when he thinks he's being funny, you know. And like I was so flat-footed that day that I was like, "Oh fuck it, let's try it." Huh? Like and I'm like when I think about how I did that, I'm like, "Fuck, that was so bad, dude." Fucking I bombed hard that night. And that was like my attempt at trying to like salvage it was like, "Oh, I'm going to ash this cigar in Nifty's hair." Ha ha. And it's like that's something where like I mean, I'm telling you guys because if somebody made fun of me for it, I'd be like, whatever, fuck it, who cares? But like overall, like uh, it's funny to see people who like they purposefully misunderstand jokes and then they turn around like, oh well, Scott's bits, dude. I am fucked. I am fucked. I might as well just pack it in now. Look at the score difference. I don't think it's gonna get any better either. Is the thing, you know. That's why I'm like, fuck, I'm fucked. Pack it in. Absolute baller power move. The fuck you mean? I felt bad, you know? Oh, yeah, I'm fucked, but we're gonna see what I can do. I need to step my game up. I need to tighten up a little bit. You know, once I tighten up, once I get the Vil count up, once I avoid any downtime with my this fucking bad mama jamma, once I'm able to do that, I'll be in all right shape, you know. I'll be in better shape anyway, I suppose. Oh, fuck that then. Whatever, bro. Hello. Scott, you were supposed to be the asshole that big brothered people and shit on those kids. Nah, I mean, Zoltar had whatever was coming to him coming, But like I said, I was kind of flat footed that night, fucking, because like Zoltar was just like a fucking sourpuss, and there was a certain line that I didn't want to cross that I probably should have just crossed. Like, cause that was hilarious seeing Alex Schultz come in and he's like slam dunking, shoving his nuts in Zoltar's face. That was so fucking hilarious, dude. And I should have just been willing to do shit like that. But like I said, I was a little like, oh no, I don't want to cross the line here. I was a little shy about it. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go 4 here then. 4 here, 2 here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. All right, just try and get as many of them as I possibly can. Mizzy and Binks on PKA, maybe Luke. Well, you said, Scott, is it at all possible to convince Taylor to bring Alex B on PKA? I mean, I'm sure he would. You know, I'm um I'm sure he'd be willing to have Alex B on, even if it's just for like a half hour to an hour. Scott, is your merch site down or what? I'm having issues with my order. What kind of issues are you having? Are you not getting your order? Is that what's going on? If that's the case, then I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure what the deal would be because it's just kind of drop shipping. Have you tried talking to like their support or something like that? I appreciate you buying something though. I'm trying to get the Scott Sullivan Comfort Tee, but it won't confirm my order. That's weird. I'll have to check that out. Maybe there's some kind of issue. I'm sure as fuck hope not, but maybe there's something going on that I'm just not privy to. Um, I suppose we'll have to like I said we'll have to figure it out. But yeah, I'd also hit up their whatever it's called. I'd also hit up their customer support as well. Teespring customer support. Can you mention it to Taylor for me? I will message Alex's manager and get it set up. I mean, why doesn't Alex's manager just reach out to Taylor from PKA? Taylor's on a literally just tell him to make a tweet tagging Taylor. Like Taylor's active as fuck on Twitter. He'll see it. And if that's something they're interested in, then yeah, he will do it. Um, I want to avoid situations where I'm like, hey, Taylor, you should have this guy on. That's really never a good look if we're being honest here. I've tried, but Taylor hasn't answered me numerous times. Well, get Alex B's manager. You know. Yeah, man, it looks like a super comfortable shirt. I don't think they're bad. You know, I mean, it's Teespring. You know, you're gonna get that Teespring, whatever. You know, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you supporting me though, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna head outside and I'm gonna drop a castle here, and it's either gonna go really good or really bad. We're gonna figure out after. So like I said, I don't actually anticipate a win here. I don't think it's actually gonna happen. And I'm sure there's something over here. You're one of my faves too. I'm always chomping at the bit to support Scott Sullivan, man. I didn't know you were hawking merch. Thank you, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah. I've had merch for a little while, but I'm bad at like keeping up on the business end of this. You know, I'm not good at shilling all my stuff. I'm not good at being like, hey, subscribe to the Patreon. You know, I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. You know. Would you be down to sell like a signed gi that you worn before? I don't have any gis that I could even sell if I was to do something like that. What is damn? That dude is moving. Let's see what I can get away with here. All right, go there and then there. Yeah, you know what? We'll take a few of these guys actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm good. Scott should sell some used Kleenexes. Well, I do sell those on my OnlyFans. Get a bunch on Temu, take photos of you in them, and ship the photo with the gi. Dude, that's fucking wear the gi jacket, wear nothing on the bottom. It's just gi jacket with my dick and balls hanging out in the photo. That'd be a sight to see. That'd be a sight for sore eyes, huh? One, two. Go there. Um. Mm, 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 mm. No, actually, I can go here. I'm gonna go here. Where I'm gonna go. Yo, Scott, when's the store gonna have Scott Sullivan branded 14-inch horse cocks? That'd be a real industry disruptor. Well, it depends on when the plaster mold gets here. You know. Oh, damn. You see, I'm fucked. I mean, I'm not as fucked as I should be though. I'll be honest with you. You know, but still, not exactly doing great. Oh, hello there. That's a pretty cool looking castle. Scott, are you ethnically Irish? Always wondered about that. Yeah, I'm ethnically Irish, you know? All right, sick. Wow, okay. All right. I guess sometimes that's just all it takes. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he definitely wasn't doing great, you know. Like me, I was continuing to try and build, you know. I was focused on this attack, and if that was going to start to peter out, what I was going to do actually is take this down. Then I was going to send them over here. It was going to take them a second, so I was going to go back here in the meantime and fuck around with these guys, and then also try and see if this, yeah, and that might have been done by the time that thing came down. I'm not 100% sure though. It might not have too, and then just keep on trying to build, you know. But anyway, guess I hit him with the GG. With dad GG. Let's see, society 41 Vills versus 41 Vills. That's why I was able to fucking, that's why I was able to get him the way that I was. Me, I was like, oh fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like I gotta get going. He really though, 41 villager imperial age, that is crazy. That explains why when I knocked down that castle, he was like, oh, I quit. Because his economy had to have been in shambles. In fucking shambles. Food collected, wood collected, stone collected. He actually collected more stone than I did, huh? Gold collected. A lot of that's probably from the relic gold. I don't know if this counts the relic gold. Military. 5 units killed. He only killed 1 of my units. Got him. Only lost 1 of my units. Buildings raised. Buildings lost. Largest army. Let's see the timeline. I'm curious. Yeah, like I hit Castle Age before he did, but he hit Castle Age and then he hit Imp before I was even considering trying to go to Imp. I was gonna hit Imp probably closer to 30 minutes if I'm being honest with you. I was in no rush to get to Imp, at least not until he got to Imperial. In which case that was like, oh no. Anyway. Why does Scott ignore fans mostly? What do you mean, Frank Hassel? What do you mean, Frank Hassel's fucking? I'm not ignoring you. I ain't ignoring nobody. It is a normal thing for athletes to do. I don't know why you all joke. Some of the best UFC fighter wear gi. I don't know if they sell their gis, my friend. I don't know if they're selling them shits. Scott, thoughts on the band Kneecap? I've never listened to them. I'm really not sure. Cut off the bottom so it's not obvious, but upon inspection, you're clearly balls out. That's a business in and of itself. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to go with that. But yeah, Scary Ghost. I'm a bunch of different things, but the most obvious thing that I am is Irish. I'm also Italian. I have British ancestry as well. I actually have ancestry that goes back to the founding of the nation. Technically speaking, I'm of founding stock, if you will. But I'm also of a bunch of different other stock too. So it's kind of, also Arcadian as well, French through French Canada, Swedish. And there might be one or more. There might be 1 or 2 more things in there too, but that's everything that I am. So yeah. Why are you afraid to say my username? You afraid of Frank? Nah, I ain't afraid of Frank. It's just fucking. I don't want to. I mean, I'm not afraid to say your name. It's fucking Frank Hassel is morbidly obese, but that's like a fucking long ass name to say in the first place. And then on top of that too, it's like, fucking I know the joke and I like Frank and he's been nice to me, so I'm not trying to say it constantly, but anyway, rage bait. Yeah, pretty much. Get a load of Mr. Worldwide over here. Hey. It's not my fault you can't be as cultured as me. They call me Mr. Culture. All right, they call me Mr. Culture. Fucking, I actually Oh, Scott, do you like Crusader Kings? I've never played it before. I've never played it. But yeah, I actually have, like I said, I have British and French ancestry, and they were both on opposite sides of one of the battles of the French and Indian War. It was the Battle of Louisbourg. And it's just funny to think about that because you like one stray bullet and one of my ancestors would have killed another one of my ancestors, which means that I would not have been here today, Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Anyway, Sorry, I'm just looking around right now. Pitbull calls up Scott and asks where he should set roots next. Hell yeah. But yeah. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna head out, guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I wanted to have a quick little stream. I got a lot of shit going on, as you know. But the summer, I think, is going to be a little bit better in terms of me being able to plan streams. I just hope that I haven't, like, forgotten how to have decent streams, you know? Because, like, my streams before, they were scuffed, obviously. They were scuffed, but they weren't, like, they were a fun scuffed, you know? The game shows, those were fun scuffed, where it was like, okay, it was obviously kind of fucking stupid, but that was also the point. That was the entire point of it in the first place. You know, so yeah, I hope that I'm able to get back to those soon. I will talk to you guys later though. All right, peace out.